live here in Seattle. In the first inning, Beckham would deliver a home run on the very first pitch. 6 runs, 6 hits in the second, and the Orioles were on their way. A Machado grand slam included. The Orioles on this road trip have now evened it up. They look to go 6-4 when all is said and done. They can pick up their 5th win of the trip if they can get one tonight. It's the Orioles Unmasked, and we welcome you back to Safeco Field in Seattle. Game 2 of this 3-game set, the Orioles and the Mariners, as the O's look to make it 2 in a row against the M's. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For the Orioles, this road trip is coming to a conclusion. The hope now is they can come away with a couple more wins here. They'd love to sweep this series and take that back home. Much better position if they can do it regarding the wild card spot. One of the real treats of this series is seeing some of the bright stars of the game, young stars, playing on both these teams, and a veteran. The veteran is at second base, Robinson Cano. He is an outstanding defender, hitter. He comes in with a 6-game hit streak into this ball game. He delivered that hit in the ball game last night. Of course, watching him play is the young star at second base, the Orioles' Jonathan Schoop. Jonathan's got a 4-game hit streak. He added to it last night by picking up a couple of hits. Are they comparable? Well, in a lot of ways, yes, they are. You take a look at where they are. This is Jonathan Schoop. At this age, this is what Robinson Cano was doing. He had the much higher average. Jonathan, though, has got the home runs. The RBIs, those go to Jonathan Schoop and Cano. The fielding percentage almost exactly the same at the age of 25 plus. 2 great second basemen, Jim, and the Orioles getting to see the young one develop.
Well, I mean, is he ever? And, he had 25 home runs last year. He's already got 25. RBIs are up. Average is up. One of the smoothest fielding second basemen. Cano is very casual. We were kind of joking around on the telecast last night. Out here, Scope's kind of playing like Cano, which is very casual, but nobody throws and turns a double play like Jonathan Schoop. And it's so huge if you're a pitcher. Manny does it, Schoop does it. If you throw that ground ball with runners at first and third, they're going to turn the double play. You get to not give up a run and go in the dugout. But what a bright star. $50,000 signing bonus. Now he would just like to get what Cano got, 10-year deal for $240 million, and he'd even be happier.
He may even get a little more the way he's playing right now. When we come back, one of the people who's helped him develop is Bobby Dickerson, the Orioles infield coach and third base coach. We will talk with him about where Jonathan Schoop is. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Talking about Jonathan Scope and his performance on the season. Certainly the growth of this player, something for Oriole fans to delight in. Plays like that he made last night, learning how to use the glove in the J.J. Hardy manner. Keep that bare hand away, let that glove feel the ball in, and then with that tremendous arm he's got, he can make the plays. Where is he in his development? Well, Bobby Dickerson, infield coach, third base coach, talked with us about that this afternoon.
Well, at times we think he's pretty much at the top of his game at times, but it's just the consistency of it, the ability to be able to go out there and play second base the same every day. It's a tough job for a big guy like that. It's a tough job for anyone, but when you're 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts and have to go defend at a high level, it's more mental. So that's the biggest thing, is sticking on him and making sure he understands that no matter how things go, he has to go out there and do his job.
You work with him every day. You never get to 100%. So what is it now you'd like to see him do that he hasn't reached yet?
Well, that's pretty much it. Just the ability, no matter what the situation, how he's feeling at the plate, what's going on with our travel and how tired we are, just to grind through and stay at that high level of concentration, when the ball's crossing the plate, be in every pitch. Because when he's as good as it gets.
You compare him to anybody that you've seen playing in the time you've been in this game?
Being so big, you have to think of, Sandberg or either Cal Ripken. He's just such a monster for middle infield play. And if you watch his hands work, they're incredible. He's got great ball transfer skills. He's got arm strength in the middle. And, he always gets hammered on his range, but his quickness is there. If you look at his first step, when he's locked in and he's pre-pitching and he's anticipating contact, his first step is as good as anybody's. So I would, those big monster middle infielders, they're hard to find, like that and that body style, but it's pretty incredible to watch, and I'm sure that's how it was, watching Cal Ripken play on a daily basis.
Some discussion about maybe he plays shortstop someday. I know you don't make that decision, but what would your reaction be to people talking about that?
I mean, he could do it, but we would be, I think, when I say we as an organization, we as a fan base, Baltimore Oriole family, we'd always be wanting a little bit more range, I think, especially when one ball creeps through the infield and a run scores. Oh, man, he's too big to play there. But he's a lot of ball security. I mean, he's like J.J. Hardy when it comes to that. I mean, I know J.J. would get hammered on that sometimes. Oh, man, he's getting old. His range is not there. But the reality is, if you look at his ball security and the things he does for the defense, it's as good as it gets, and that's how Jonathan would play the position.
Bobby, final question. You saw him the first day on the field. You met Jonathan Scope. From then to now, how big's the progression, and is it what you expected or more?
It's not even close. I mean, I never saw this coming from this guy. He was a little skinny kid. I loved his hands, his arm strength, his quickness on the infield, but his bat would back up when he hit the ball. He was a little skinny guy, and I didn't see this kind of offensive production. I thought he would be more of a quick middle infielder type guy, to slap the ball around and, just watching him grow up and turn into this monster of a man. And I met his parents down in Dominican Republic, and his dad's a little guy, and I'm still trying to ask him for sure what happened there, man. But he says he's got a lot of huge uncles and stuff, so it's pretty neat to watch this guy grow into the man that he is.
Oh, yeah, he'll turn 26 in the offseason. Yeah, they have him listed at 6'1", 185. Well, that's probably when he first came up. That's what Bobby Dickerson talked about. But just think about it. You're a young player. You come to your organization, whether you're Manny Machado or Jonathan Scope, and then you get an infield coach like Bobby Dickerson to help you get to where you are. It's quite a statement. I don't know. I think a lot of times with our friends, we don't give them time, tell them how much we like them. Same with coaches. But he's done a great job with them.
He certainly has. Beautiful evening here. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? 73 degrees, clear skies, little light breeze blowing over towards right field. Just a gorgeous evening. Orioles starting lineup brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Beckham, Machado, Scope, Jones, Mancini, and Trumbo, Davis, Castillo, and Rickard. Adam Jones on the trip. A real good one.
And they will face Andrew Albers out of Canada. He comes really cast consideration. He was 12-3, AAA, Gwinnett. That's their affiliate. So you can see again, those are the numbers And then it even gets better. I mean, he was 12-3, but 6-0 with an ERA of under 1 run a game. Not a hard thrower. And we'll see what kind of strike zone Gabe Morales has. You know, he's going to top out around 86, 88. He's got a slider, a changeup, and you know, again, I mean, he's pitched in the big leagues. Yeah, he's actually pitched a couple of good starts.
Beckham leading it off for the Orioles will take the pitch. He's already behind last night. First pitch of the ball game, he drove out of the yard with his 16th home run and his first career leadoff homer. And here a 2-0 count from the left-hander. For Beckham against the lefties, 283 on the season. Albers pitch, and that's going to miss inside. Gabe Morales, home plate umpire. If there's going to be any favoritism and just in his strike zone, it'll probably go to the hitters. And the pitchers will have to fine-tune it a little more than they might like.
Yeah, the 16th different starter, 36 pitcher. And there's a strike, 87. So again, you know, you talked about, I mean, we saw Giovanni Gallardo. I mean, he gave up and got knocked around, but he was throwing harder. I don't know if it was the adrenaline of facing your former teammate, but back in the big league, but a different ball. So the feel will be a little bit different, and he's a command guy.
Pitch on the way, and that's going to be to right field, and stopping it, but it's a base hit. It's Leonis Martin. And he knocked it down, and boy, had that ball gotten by him, that might have been an inside the park job, but it didn't. So It's a base hit.
Yeah, Tim Beckham doesn't steal a lot of bases, but he can run. And, you know, the home run was to right field, first pitch of the game, and you're right about this. Of course, he played a lot of center field last year, playing very shallow, and then right there he goes, boy, I could be in trouble, but able to get the heel of the glove on it.
So makes the stop, and that gives the Orioles a leadoff single. And Beckham, after having his long hit streak ended, picked it up last night with a 3 for 5 and starts out tonight with a base hit.
30 for his last 59.
Gosh. Here is Manning, and he takes it for a strike. Manning's got a 4-game hit streak coming in. He too has picked the pace up for the Orioles yet one more time. Grand slam home run here on this road trip, and has certainly helped the cause. Over the top, and that one's going to be fouled away. The Orioles offense on fire. 10 or more runs, 14th time this year they've done it. That is the second most games in the American League for those number of runs that many times, with New York and Cleveland tied with the Orioles. Houston's got 18 of them. And Manny fouls that one off again, trying to line up the lefty 0-2. Albers, 31 years old. Interesting, his starts came 17 appearances, 12 starts with the Twins, 2013, and the Blue Jays in 2015. He actually went overseas to play in the Korean League for a year and then back into the minors. Reaching for it towards second base. Segura, 1, relay 2.
Yeah, okay, a little breaking ball slider down and away, gets Manny to lean over, and then, you know, Manny obviously must think it's going to be a double play because he doesn't run very hard. And, you know, again, it makes it even easier. He's got all kinds of time when you don't run, and it just gets it over there. Might have been a double play anyway, probably, but first inning.
Yep. The Orioles have been able in the wins on the road to jump out against the opponents. Here is Jonathan. He's got a 4-game hit streak coming into this one, and the pitch is taken for a strike. So looking for a 3-faced inning is what Albers, the 31-year-old, is trying to get here. If he can get the out right here. Jonathan laces at left field. It is way back of the wall, and goodbye, home run. Jonathan Schoop delivers the long ball off the left-hander, and again, the Orioles getting a home run early and a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that's a career high right there. 25 last year, 26 now. A little change up that stays up, and again, as good a breaking ball, hanging mistake hitter on the Oriole team, and the Orioles take advantage of it for a solo home run here in the first.
That is the first career home run for Jonathan Schoop against Seattle, either here or at his home park in Baltimore. Jonathan's got 8 home runs off the left-handers this year, and there's no question about that one as the celebration ensues.
Yeah, second home run of August.
So 2 down, and the homer out, and the pitch is in for a strike to Adam Jones.
Well, you look where the target is, and again, look where the ball is, right down the middle. And boy, you know the sound of it. When you're on the mound or you're sitting in the stands here, you know that ball's gone, and it flies out of here in a hurry.
Pitch will be taken at 90 miles an hour and an 0-2 count. So the Orioles, who hit 4 home runs in the ball game last night, kick it off here with a homer. Scopes now had a hit in each of his last 3 at bats. He singled in the last 2 in last night's game. Fouled off the foot again.
Yeah, got his ankle last night. You know, and again, I mean, you can see Albers, who's not overpowering, even though, you know, you look at all the charts, he's a couple of miles per hour hard of it, but he's going to pitch in and out, and this is one of the consequences once again somewhere off the front leg.
Adam has had so many foul balls go off that leg, and no matter how much protection he puts on, it finds a way to hurt. Adam up at 275 with the 22 home runs. Adam has moved into the top 10 in hits now. He's 10th in the American League in hits. And the pitch will be taken up high for a ball. It's because he's having a very good month, coming up with multi-hit ball games for the Orioles. 5-game hitting streak, 9 for 22 over the hit streak. 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. And he's going to continue it right there. That one just enough to get to the outfield, but Cano had shaded to second base, so there was nobody there, and Adams on.
Yeah, you put the shift on, and then what is your approach with 2 strikes? You know, again, I mean, he swings at 57% of the pitches thrown, so he's a hacker. But he also makes contact over 78% of the time. So 2 strikes, you know, you try to, I mean, it's an inside-out swing. Nobody's playing there. You get Mancini to the plate. Pitch count goes up, and you never know against a guy trying to work his way back to the big leagues and pitching because of injuries here in Seattle.
Yep. Well, the starter forced in from the minors. Here is Trey Mancini, and he will take the pitch up high for a ball. Major league numbers for Albers in the limited innings pitch, 79 of them. He gave up 92 hits. Now, obviously, that's years ago. Well over a hit per inning surrendered when he had his other chances in the majors.
Well, he started back in 2013, and he threw seven scoreless innings, and then pitched a complete 2-game shutout against the Indians, and then the league kind of caught up with him.
Mancini will foul that one back.
Take a look at the defense for the Mariners. Heredia, Dyson, and Martin. A little bit different than last night. Espinosa, in fact, entirely different in a lot of cases. Espinosa, Segura, Cano, Valencia, and then Zunino doing the catching.
Trey Mancini, 261 off the left-handers, puts that one down the line in right field. That'll be a foul ball. Orioles have picked the pace up this year against the left-handed starters. They've done very well. They are 20-17 against left-handers, and that is the second best win percentage against left-handed starters in the American League.
Yeah, Martin plays very, very shallow in right field. We saw that, almost caught the line drive by Beckham.
And the off-speed delivery is a high strike called. So Albers will get his strikeout. The Orioles will get the run. They get a run on 3 hits, no errors, 1 left. Home run, Jonathan Schoop, number 26 out of the yard. Scope a home run. The Orioles have the 1-0 lead going to the bottom half of the first inning. Tim Beckham leadoff single, got doubled up. Albers called up to pitch. 16 different starting pitcher used this season by Seattle. Orioles got to him early. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Seattle tonight. Segura, Heredia, and Cano. Cruz, Valencia, Zunino. Martin, Espinoza, and Dyson. Nelson Cruz last 5. Long ball and RBIs.
Oh, yeah, red hot. And Wade Miley, I mean, they know all about him. He won 7 games, lost 8 games for him last year as a starter. Wade's only 30 years old, so, you know, the curveball, you know, he's used it. 26 curveballs in his last start. All of a sudden, you know, it's the spike curveball. Tillman showed it to him. He throws it as hard as he can, and it goes over. And that's helpful because he leads the American League in walks.
Juan Segura leading off against him will foul it back. And he himself said, the biggest problem I've got is I haven't been able to throw strikes.
Yep. And it's really never happened before. You know, he averaged a little bit under 3 walks per 9 innings. This year it's come down. It's over 5 per 9 innings. So it gets the pitch count up.
Segura will go to first. Nice play made. Davis just timed that one up and in for the outs.
Yep, he gets it in enough. Of course, he started the game off, poked one off of Kevin Gausman down the right field line that Chris Davis didn't catch and doubled. So again, inside out. And again, that's why last year 203 hits, also threw in 20 home runs for the Diamondbacks. Had a great year and is having another terrific year.
Wade Miley comes in with a 2-0 mark lifetime against Seattle and a very solid 1.93 ERA against this team historically. That ball in the air to center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So Guillermo Heredia has got a 4-game hit streak as he goes after the first one, and that's his 3rd hit and 5 at bats in these 2 games.
Yeah, again, line drive hitter. Take a look at the defense. Mancini, Jones, and Rickard, the lefty. Joey usually plays against them. Machado, Beckham, Scope, Davis, and then Wellington Castillo after Caleb Joseph caught last night.
So that will bring up Robinson Cano. Cano at a 1 for 4 in the game last night. That extended his hit streak to 6 games. Cano has never had a hit off Miley and has had just 6 at-bats against him on the year. Not hitting lefties the way he usually does. Only 235 off left-handers and 296 off right-handers this year. And he got him, picked him off at first base. Davis, they'll chase him back to first, and the tag put on. He is out of there.
Yeah, Beckham,
a little longer than they wanted, but they got him.
Exactly. I mean, Beckham almost waited long enough for him to get right by the tag of Scope. Well, again, I mean, it's a young player. You know, he played in Cuba. He gets on, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, one thing about Wade Miley, he controls the running game. So right here, you want to give it to him right now, and almost waits. He almost runs by him, but the late throw still, you get it.
1-3-6-4 on the put out, so that eliminates the runner. That move by Miley has caused a lot of consternation for base runners over the years. Pitch will be taken by Cano for a strike. Robinson Cano in the 3 spot continues to pump the average up as he has stayed hot here over the last 10-day period in particular, which on the way to him will be taken down low.
Yeah, such a great year last year, but you know, career high of 39 home runs, so the home runs are down, and one of the reasons is that, you know, he can hit home runs off of anybody. Now Miley does throw home runs, but only 1 so far to a lefty all year. Yeah.
And Cano will go after one down and away. Foul tipped into the mitt.
To give you an idea of how he controls the running game, that was only the 30th attempt, and he's closed it in on 1,000 innings. I mean, that's how. Yeah, that's and the, you know, the experienced base runners, they don't get much of a lead, and if they do, they go on the first move and try to outrun the ball.
Really had never seen Miley, so real dangerous to get very far off if you're still trying to figure out the move over to first base. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that will be taken down low.
Well, Casey Candell, he needs to have one of those little ropes or something like that going. Son, don't pull him back. Come on, don't be going anywhere.
Pull him off the stage hooks.
Yep, gonna make the old vaudeville hook.
Big help for Miley. I mean, what a difference that makes to get Heredia off after the 1-out single. Cano will step out a little bit. During the 6-game hit streak, he's gone 10 for 24. He's had 6 runs scored, 4 doubles. And the pitch will be taken away. .334 lifetime hitter against the Orioles for Robinson Cano with the 29 home runs, most of those hits coming while a member of the Yankees. These teams facing each other in the division. Full count. Miley's had a lot of those this year. Cano chases one down. Miley gets the strikeout and faces only 3. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Orioles up 1-0. From Glendale, 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight, and there's already been 1. Play Home Run Rich's Scratch House, win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/home run. Ivan, congratulations already. Let's go O's, as they are 4-4 with this game and 1 more tomorrow on the 10-game road trip out west. If they could go 6-4, they would be most happy to return home with it.
Well, what they're going to have to do is win consecutive games, which they haven't been able to do on this trip.
Mark Trumbo, he will take the pitch for a strike. Mark also heating up. He's got a 5-game hit streak. Never had a chance to go on rehab coming off the DL, so he had to do it in live games, and seemingly has gotten that taken care of. He's gone 6 for his last 20 with a home run and 4 runs scored.
Well, he's like when he went on the DL, he was like in the throes of an 0 for 23, so he straightened that out. Would like to, as he did in Oakland, get some multi-hit games.
Yeah, good changeup. Way out in front of that one, and a 1-2 count from Albers.
So he comes out of Canada. He was reading some articles on him. Apparently, they don't play high school baseball in Canada. So he played basketball and volleyball and badminton.
That's going to be a base hit into left field. Trumbo's on again. 6-game hit streak for him, and the Orioles have had the leadoff man in each of the first 2 innings.
Well, there's a nice swing because he, instead of being out in front, he kind of waited and waited and waited. Look how quick the bat is. Boom. He tried to get it in. This is the big leagues, and we've already seen, you hang a changeup, Scope hits it out of the ballpark, makes a good pitch to Joan. He fights it off into, Adam fights it off into right field. Same with Beckham.
Well, the Orioles already picking up 4 hits in the ball game. Boy, they are stringing them together. Pitch on the way. Double play depth against Chris Davis.
Well, there you go. I mean, red hot. I mean, he threw in like a 3 for 32 early on, coming off the DL, and he had the oblique, and then he got some kind of flu. So again, trying to get back on track, and at least against right-handed pitching, he's been real good. I mean, the swings have just been a little more rhythm, able to hit the ball over the ballpark, more like Chris Davis wants to hit.
Hit only .216 against left-handers last year. He's up to .243 this year. Swing and a miss on a pitch tailing down and away, and that'll be a K. Second for Albers.
Yeah, not exactly where I mean, he gets away with it, but this is up. So again, you throw that the next time when the lights take effect. It's not twilight. I'm not sure he's going to get away with that pitch, but he does get an out. And that's what he's looking for.
So that'll bring up the Orioles catcher tonight, Wellington Castillo. Castillo hitting .308 in the month of August, raising his overall up to .283. 37 RBIs. He and Caleb Joseph splitting the catching duties right down the middle at this point. Trumbo's on at first base. Castillo will take the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. Castillo, big numbers against the left-handers, hitting at .324 against left-handers. It's some 50 points higher than he is against right-handers. Albers' delivery to him will be in the dirt. Block made Zunino and holds the runner Trumbo on at first base. Thrilled to be back. Those are the words of the starter, Albers. And it was announced he was going to be called back up to be with the ball club, make this start. Pitch is going to be the high strike call.
Well, again, I mean, independent league, you talked about that. Went to Korea, had Tommy John surgeries, 2009, got released. Drove 37 hours down to Phoenix, flew to where he went to school, University of Lexington, or Kentucky, and through, then went to workouts in Arizona, never got picked up, then drove to Orlando. Twins signed him. So it's been a long journey.
Back to the major league mound. It's a long trip.
But then again, I mean, anytime you go 10-2 as a starter, 12-3 collectively, and you're going to, people are going to notice you.
Delivery is fouled back into the screen. Two roster moves were made today. Albers, one of them, being called up. Sam Gavillo was also called up. He's a right-hander out of the bullpen. He came up. Casey Lawrence, the right-hander who we saw in this series, was optioned out. Vieira, who made his major league debut yesterday, he was optioned out. And Christian Bergman, who was optioned yesterday, has been designated for assignment today. That went up in the air down the line. That'll be in the seats and out of play. So the Mariners making a lot of moves, trying to hang in as they are 2.5 out of that second wild card spot. 4 teams in front of them. The Orioles with a win last night. Now just 2 games out of the second wild card spot, and they have 3 teams in front of them. It is a wild race. The wild card spots in the American League. That's going to be a base hit into left field. Wellington Castillo turning on one. Trumbo goes to second. 2 on, 1 down.
Andrew Albers, he keeps trying to get in on guys with 2 strikes, and these are the big leagues, and that was 90. Again, look at this swing, up and in. And again, when you have a good swing, and Wellington's been red hot, you know where the barrel of the bat is, so you're able to bring it in, kind of collapse the arms, and just get the barrel to it. Trumbo did it, and now Castillo here in the second. 2
very similar swings.
Yeah, it really was, and the result was the same.
So Joey Rickert with the RBI opportunity. Orioles were 5 for 11 in these situations in the ball game last night. Rickert 229 with runners in scoring position, and Albers wants to talk to his catcher Zunino.
Yeah, Zunino, it's interesting when you only play, the West or even the Central, 6 or 7 games according to which year it is. So Zunino, you can get all the scouting reports you want, but there's nothing like being out there and see how they react to your pitches.
Pitch on the way by the left-hander is going to be up high. Joey getting the start to get another right-handed bat in the lineup against the left-hander. Rickert on the year, 288 off lefties and 230 off right-handers. Adam Jones and the skipper in a little baseball discussion right there. Rickert started held up, but is in there for a strike at 88.
And again, the knowledge. I always thought if a hitter didn't know you as a pitcher and you can make your pitches, you had the advantage, and we'll see if that's the case. So they can get all the scouting reports they want about Albers, but
that stop, what a great turn. Held onto it and gets the out, and the runners both get back to the bags. Espinosa with a do-or-die third base hot corner makes the catch.
Yeah, they give Kyle Seager, even though he hits lefties pretty well, at least initially the night off, and then Espinosa, we saw him late in the game, and then boy, just turns on him, and there you go. You know, maybe 3-4 feet probably would have been a double into the corner.
So that will bring Beckham up, leadoff batter. Picked up a single his first time up. Orioles still have the runners at first and second base, but now there are two down. That's a big out. Beckham goes after it in the air to center. Dyson. He'll haul it in. That'll do it. No runs on a couple of hits. No errors. Two are left on base. Orioles with the early lead. 1-0. This weekend. On Friday, all fans get the 25th anniversary poster presented by MeQ. Plus, enjoy post-game fireworks presented by Baltimore Area Credit Unions. That's coming up at the ballpark Friday. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. A lot of O's fans on hand making the trip, many for the first time out here to Seattle to follow the O's on this West Coast swing. Here is Nelson Cruz. Had a 1 for 4 in the ballgame last night, a home run. 7-game hit streak for him overall. Even longer, though, against the Orioles. Cruz now has hit safely in 13 straight games. Go back to May 19 of 2015. And during that span, he's hit .391 in the 13 games with 5 home runs and 14 RBIs. The former Oriole. Miley's delivery to him will be up high. Cruz comes in the home run department 8th, 16 RBIs, tied for 3rd in August, and runs batted in, and the most home runs in August with the 8 that he has picked up. Overall, he ranks 6th in the American League in homers, and he's the leading RBI man. Against Wade Miley, 1 for 3. Cruz will take it in the dirt away.
Yeah, that's a good curveball, just misses. 9 home runs in the last 14 games. I mean, you just go look at the numbers. I mean, it's not like Giancarlo Stanton, who's hit, what, 10 home runs in 11 games, 22 in the last 32 games. What a tear he's on.
Wild.
Yeah, for the Marlins.
3-2 pitch on the way, and he'll draw a walk.
Yeah, really good curveball, but again, when you're hitting well and you get to stay back, and now Gausman early on got Cruz out because he threw the ball right by him. And Miley doesn't have that kind of fastball.
So another former Oriole will come to the plate. Danny Valencia. Valencia getting the start at first base. Ended up a couple of at-bats in the ball game last night. Went 0 for 2. Veteran who is 32 years old, who was with the Orioles in 2013. 52 games. He hit .304 that year for the O's. 14 doubles, 8 home runs. Pitch is taken for a strike.
And he wears lefties out. Lifetime 300 hitter. And again, if you look at his numbers this year, over 5 of the 13 home runs, over 300, 302 against the lefties. And he can play pretty much anywhere. If I'm in right field, he can play, playing first tonight, can play third.
Miley will get the pitch inside on the corner to him.
He asked me before the game, he said, how do you think he's going to pitch me? I said, Wade Miley doesn't know how he's going to pitch it. What, a lot of times you don't know what's working that night. We do know he likes the ball out over the plate. I can tell you that, Danny.
And Wade likes it down and in.
Exactly.
0-2 delivery on the way, and that one tails away pretty close. Valencia's gone 3 for 8 off Wade Miley.
Yeah, he's at his best talking about Miley. If he can just kind of stay over the pitching rubber and let everything kind of get gathered. But when he starts toppling forward, and he likes to pick very quickly, that's when he gets in trouble.
Pitch away, will miss.
Yeah, that was a pitch. He threw 26 of them, got a lot of big outs against the Oakland A's. But the difference, too, is the A's, very young hitting ball club.
Willing to chase.
Yeah, they really were. And he took advantage of it.
Very close to first. Cruz not moving off the bag. Valencia rips it in the air to left field. Line drive over, and a fine running catch by Trey Mancini. All the way down to second. Cruz will go back to first.
Yeah, it's an amazing game. Rickard hits one right at the third baseman. If it's 3 or 4 yards to the right or left, it's a base hit. This one's probably a double. But again, I'm just kind of looking at the jump, and Trey Mancini, for a guy that learned to play the outfield in Sarasota in spring training, makes a nice running play. And then again, he's got an average to a little above average arm. So again, robbing Valencia of a potential double.
And if you go over Trey Mancini, stand back and look at the long view of the year, it really is amazing. Learning to play outfield, being a steady hitter with power, playing first base when needed, more than amply so.
Yeah, adjusting to what they do as they just finding out what he can hit and what he can't. Great runner in scoring position numbers.
Pretty amazing year for the rookie.
Is. Well, they always were high on him, but I don't know. You can project a guy that's going to be a pretty good hitter, but at this level, I mean, it's sustained excellent that he's been able to bring to the table for the Orioles.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Runner on at first base. 1 down, 2-0 count. Zunino with a big cut. And he's had a couple of hits. Game 1, home run, an RBI. Zunino also with power.
Big time power. Yeah, now they're kind of moving Mancini. Yeah.
Over to the line.
Yeah, it's funny. You got to trust your coaches, and Wayne Kirby. All I would have to do if I was an outfielder for the Orioles is look at the press guide and see that one year he led the American League in assists with 19, and they weren't all in one position. I mean, some were in center, I think, some were in right, some were in left. So Wayne, whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do it.
Plus, I'll move.
He could grab your wrist and you'll do whatever he wants you to do.
Zunino goes after one that was up. Miley got him to chase a 93.
Yeah, he's a little more like the Oakland hitters, where they have a lot of young guys over there. They'll chase, and he is actually, I mean, the count's 3-2, but Miley's thrown him five balls, and he swung at 2 of them.
Zunino homered twice in the last 4, and that's right there. I mean, I don't know where he was going, but there wasn't much question. Miley gets his second strikeout, 2 down.
Yeah, and Cruz, after walking, doesn't go anywhere because, number one, he's not running real well at 37. The other thing, he didn't want to get picked off. So take a look at your Mercedes pitch cast, and it'll show you right there. And able to, and again, he leads the world in 3-2 counts.
So Leonis Martin will stand in. Left-handed batter, did not play in the ball game last night. It's interesting that here at the bottom of the order, you've got Martin, Espinoza, and Dyson, 2 left-handed hitters, and Espinoza a switch hitter. And Wade Miley has control of the left-handers, who are hitting only .211 against him. So I don't think he's going to mind that the left-handers are dominating the bottom part of the order.
Well, he's hitting with no power. What about maybe 110 points higher against the lefties? But again, not a lot of at-bats. Good defensive player. Played a lot of center field for him. It's almost like I think Scott Service, Gary, was saying, you know what, we just lost 5 in a row. You know, I'd like to play my A lineup, but I got to give them some time off, even though, and then hope that the guys aren't playing or going to overachieve.
Yep.
You know,
all at home
yeah,
too.
Yep.
1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be foul back. The 5-game losing streak for Seattle, it matches their longest losing streak of the season. They also lost 5 in a row in May. But like about everybody else in the American League, they're right in the wild card race. 2.5 games out. To show you a number on that, in fact this is an unusual year that this many teams remain in contention this late. Pitch is in the dirt. Good stop made by Wellington Castillo.
Yeah, so to this point, other than the one curveball to Cano, the command, and again it's a kind of a pitch he's thrown a little bit more and pitched well in his last 2 starts, is not quite there yet. I always thought it was a field pitch. You know, sometimes it takes you 3, 4, 5 innings to maybe understand what you need to do and where you have to throw it.
It'll be foul back. Miley has really settled it down and been helped by this pitch.
Yeah, early on, and you can see with the curveball, you know, and again now all of a sudden you're not commanding your fastball. He's been able to, you know, he's gotten a lot of strikeouts. You can see they're chasing it and then again you're looking sometimes to strike people out. And look at the average, 0.59.
Throw it some more. Cruz with a walk on at first base, 2 down. Martin waiting on it, and it'll be down low. See where the numbers have gone for Miley this year. He was 3.97 in April. He was 7.48 in May, 8.68 in June, and in July, the 8.68. But he's come down here. He's only given up 2 earned runs in 12 innings this month. So hopefully that's the kind of ERA number he's going to put up for August. Ground ball chopped to second base. Jonathan Scope gets a big hop, and we'll record the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Orioles with the first inning homer by Jonathan Scope lead at 1-0. They are selling these grasshoppers that are spiced up and fried. You pay $4 and you get this little container right here that has a goodly number of the grasshoppers in it. Yeah. So we were invited to indulge. Yeah, so here it goes.
Oh, they're really tasty.
They're not bad. Those aren't bad. They are spicy.
Oh, wow.
They're good enough. I'm going to have another one. I like them. Wow. Things you discover on the road.
Yeah.
What do you think?
They're hot. They really are hot.
Not bad.
It's kind of like the taco I had in Oakland in the second inning and couldn't talk for about
You
an
didn't
inning.
eat a lot of that.
No, right. We also want to let you know that they have legalized marijuana in the state of Washington.
That ball popped up down the line. That is in fair territory, and it'll land fair and roll into foul. Gets away, and that's going to end up being a double. And finally, they retrieve it and get it back in. So Beckham does it again. How about that? Or Manny, rather. Yeah. Manny Machado down the line will get a two-bagger. He stopped at first, but the ball rolled away.
Yeah, you know, the spin. I mean, again, you know, he had a triple and down in Oakland. And right there, I mean, it's like these guys have never seen a ball hit down that line, and it might react differently. Martin kind of played it into that double.
Wow.
I mean, you got a second baseman, you got a first baseman. You could have, because the ball was in the air so long, circle it, but the Orioles take advantage of it and lead off double.
And again, 6 hits already up on the board. That one put up in the air, foul territory, third base. And not enough room. That'll be a few rows back. Espinosa could not get it.
Well, let's talk about these grasshoppers after that double.
Okay.
I mean, they are very spicy.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, that lime chili or whatever, it's so.
They're tasty.
Yeah, but to be honest, I didn't have any wings or legs on mine.
Oh, you didn't?
Wasn't looking me in the eye like that.
No.
You know,
okay.
You eat a prawn.
Eat a prawn.
You know, yeah. I mean, you ever, you know, you eating prawns and
you
and
pull
the
off
prawn
the
looks
shell.
at you and they go, "Are you really going to eat me?" And I go,
and you don't.
No, you cut his head off.
The humanitarian that you are. That ball is blooped foul. Well, that was interesting. I'd never had those before. They sell out of them here. They've had to order extras for every homestand. It became far more popular, the grasshoppers, than they ever dreamed of. And they ship them in here and they sell out every game. $4 for a little container.
I do know.
I'll give you a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, see how I'm doing.
Right, exactly.
And the pitch is a bouncer. That's going to move the runner up to third base. So a wild pitch by Albers. And the Orioles get a runner to third with nobody out.
Yeah, obviously Zunino thought he was going to catch this. I mean, yeah, he just kind of, I'll just backhand it. And what does that make you look bad when you don't block it? I mean, anytime a ball even kind of goes down and smells the dirt, they're going to give the catcher the benefit of the doubt and it becomes a wild pitch. But the runner moves the base. That's all that matters.
Now Jonathan Scope, a little easier chance to get another RBI, delivering a home run first time up, his 26th. Now has a 5-game hit streak. And Scope.
They play the infield back because of, you know, again, you bring him in, you try to cut off a run. That tells me that, you know, you think you're going to get a bunch of runs and all that, and then you get the big inning.
Scope chasing the RBI leader, Nelson Cruz, 95. Jonathan's got 86 with a home run he picked up.
Yeah, it looks like Gabe Morales, and they wanted that pitch, is at least through the first 2 innings, is calling the high pitch, but not the one around the knees. And we'll see if he's consistent throughout this game.
Left-hander into the stretch, pitch on the way. Scope will take it inside, way inside. So the Orioles will get another base runner. They cover the corners, nobody out. That is walk number 3 by Albers. Take a look at our PNC Minor League report. PNC for the achiever in you.
Well, Flash, Ryan Flaherty, I remember him. I'm probably going to see him in the next couple of days. And then Anthony Santana, a Rule 5 acquisition. The rules say that he has to be on the roster, I believe, by Friday. Otherwise, they have to offer him back to Cleveland. Or was it St. Louis?
No, Cleveland, I think. And they're not going to do that.
No
matter who it was. So Santana will be joining the ball club during the homestand. First and third, nobody out. Adam Jones swinging at a pitch away, just at 78 miles an hour, up and away that time. Adam with a base hit, his first time up. With the Orioles here in this series, in the first game, and where they finished up in Oakland, just runners on base all over the place. Foul back. With a home run picked up in the first inning by Jonathan Scope, the Orioles have now scored 11 first inning runs in this, the 9th game of this road trip. So they've really jumped out on opponents, which is what you're trying to do, of course, in opponents' home ballparks. Manny, lead runner over at third base. Scope at first. Pitch on the way will be fouled away. Take Take a look at our Coons League leaderboard. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Well, there you go. And again, the Orioles collectively, I mean, they lead the American League. You know, Betts at the top, and Marlon Gonzalez. And of course, they have a lot of guys on the Astros having good teams. Justin Upton did a number on the Orioles when the Tigers were in town. The other thing about Albers, he struck out 115 and 122 and 2/3 innings. So he certainly, I mean, if you don't even have to be a Mariners fan to know what he's thinking right here with an 0-2 count. Somehow try to get a strikeout here and then maybe get a double play ball.
0-2 delivery on the way, and Adam will. That's the pitch he swung at the first time, but he doesn't the second time, and it goes to 1-2. Adam watching that one go by. What a jump he has made to move into that top 10 in hits now with 128, 10th in the league. Jonathan's got 136th. He is 5th in the league. 2 of the top 10 in hits on the Orioles. That one to the gap in right center field. It'll stay up. Dyson, long throw to the plate. Here's the slide. He is out. Great throw by Jared Dyson.
Well, that's the 11th assist. And you want to bail out a pitcher. First of all, he throws a hanging curveball, and Adam Jones whacks it into center field. And again, you just don't think you're going to be able to throw a guy out, mainly because you get a good jump. So right here now, he's got 10 assists. Take a look at this. Accuracy, what arm strength. Right on the money.
Wow.
And you can see Manny trying to get to the outside corners, and Eno with the tag. And the other thing is, because it's such a low throw, and there's the tag right before the hand gets there, it's a lot closer than you think. Jonathan Scope doesn't move up. So, I mean, you get the double play and no advancement of the runner.
And it's Chopper down to third base. Espinosa's got this one, and the defense rises to the occasion as Mancini's retired. No runs after the Orioles had runners at first and third with nobody out. Tonight's game brought to you by Miller Lite. A good crowd on hand here for Seattle. Their only homestand here in the month of August, and it's not been a very good one as they lost all 4 games to open it up against the Angels, and the Orioles have taken the first one of the 3-game set. Wade Miley with the lead on the Jonathan Scope home run.
Yeah, what a big swing that was. First and third, nobody out. Next thing you know, Albers is in on the dugout, and the Mariners get the hit.
Jared Dyson, rather, the 11th assist, 2 ahead of Cabrera of Kansas City with 9 for the league lead. They just take it inside. Espinosa in with a 4 for 11 lifetime against Miley, and 2 of the 4 hits have been home runs. Well, those kind of numbers, he had a pretty good chance of starting the ball game. And he will take, and that's going to be a strike. Had him moving on the corners.
Yeah, taking a look down at where Manny's playing. He may move a half a step in. And Yeah, he's off the plate a little more right-handed than left-handed. We saw last night, struck out. And he had 2 at-bats last night, so.
Espinosa will foul that one back.
I always thought when a guy stands that far off the plate, yeah, you want to come in, but how far do you need to go in? Because if you come in too much, it's ball 1 or ball 2, whatever the case may be. In fact, we used to go into Kansas City when they had Brett and Willie Wilson with 230 hits, and Amos Otis and Cowens and McRae, they all stood off the plate.
Miley's delivery to him. Espinosa will take it up high. He was acquired as a free agent. He'd been released on July 24. The Angels had released him, and he was picked up on the 16th after being designated for assignment. So Espinosa tried to add a little thump and some versatility in the field. 2-2 delivery on the way to him, and a big swing, and there's strikeout number 3 for Miley.
Yeah, that time he does get it in. Perfect pitch at 93. He can get up to 94. Average fastballs at 91. Wellington Castillo in right to the glove. And again, you can see it's almost like he moved his feet to try to get the bat head to that pitch a little bit off the plate.
Jared Dyson gets the nice hand for the defensive play. Speedster batting 9th. Will bring Manny Machado in on the grass at third base. Pitch on the way will be underneath the arms and miss for a ball. For Dyson, just 160 against left-handers, 274 off righties. A lot of speed though. Pitch taken inside for a ball.
Well, he's already, yeah. I mean, he's not going to run on Miley unless he's going to go on the first move, and then that's. But again, he's already made a difference with that throw.
He'll take the pitch away. Boy, he'll take a walk with that average against lefties. It's 3-0.
Well, look, the first 2 looked pretty close, and then the other one looked like it might have gotten the corner. So, but neither.
Segura, the leadoff batter, waiting on deck. That will be in there for a strike. 1 down, nobody on. Orioles on top. Continuing to use the long ball to get the leads, and that's another one. Same place, same result. So Dyson, after 3-0, goes 3-2. Now he's got to protect. Wade Miley coming back on him. Pitch on the way. Dyson rips it in the air, right center field. That ball up, but it'll stay up. Rickard goes over to get it, and there are 2 down. Celebrate the ballpark that forever changed baseball when the Birds host the Angels this weekend. Saturday, the Orioles will welcome back members of the 92 Birds, the Oriole Park first team. Select players are going to participate in a pregame home run derby beginning at 6 p.m. Come on out and enjoy it. All fans get the 25th anniversary Oriole Park replica ballpark. Tickets at Orioles.com.
Select players.
Very select.
Yeah. I thought, when you read the promo in Anaheim, I said, select fans. I was thinking, no. And then I saw Brady hitting. Brady Anderson was out early when the Orioles were hitting.
That'll go to second base. Backhand play made. Quick throw, and that'll get Segura. So for Miley, a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 3 here in Seattle with the Orioles up 1-0. He came to the plate on Monday. The only other time he has struck out 3 times in a game ever was against Matt Cain in the perfect game Cain pitched in 2012. That's a tough out. Jose Altuve. Zach Greinke now won 8 straight games that he started after a Diamondbacks loss. There's your guy to end the streak. And the Angels, with or without Mike Trout before the DL, one below 500. When he was on the DL, they were 19-20. Since back, they've gone 16-11 and are making a run at a wild card spot. What can you do with a pretzel? Oh, yep. What can you do with a pretzel? Put it on the end of your finger and eat it.
Yeah, Tommy Pretzel Finger.
Your dad, here are the credit cards. Pitch is foul back. Art Linkletter had it right. Most people don't even know who he is now. Long time ago with his show, The Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the funniest shows on television. And it was just kids saying things. Pitch taken away. It was worth it. Mark Trumbo, a base hit his first time up. 31-year-old Albers.
Yeah, he's actually older than Wade Miley.
How about that?
Yeah.
Ball in the air.
Yeah, got him to reach, Gary, and you get a little pop-up.
Cano is there, and he'll put it away. So Trumbo is retired. One away in the 4th inning. 4th inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Great to have you with us here. A lot of you stayed up late on the road trip for the Orioles. Love having you with us here as games well past the midnight hour. The Orioles hoping to make all of those mean something, coming away with a winning road trip. The pitch will be taken for a strike. Chris Davis, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Orioles now scored 10 runs or more in a ball game 14 times this year. They continue to put up the double digits. They're trying to do it again here tonight. There's the shift StatCast powered by AWS. No way out there in right field. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be in the inside corner for a strike. It's interesting the way the outfield plays here. You've got Cano over towards the line in shallow right, and the right fielder Martin in the power alley in right field. Kind of a little different than the way some teams play, Chris. That's right there.
Well, it looked like the last couple of games, and you could see him shaking his head, but you know, you get a lefty, you know, trying to look for the release point. And the one thing about it, if you look at Andrew Albers, he throws almost, you know, where he completely hides the ball. I bet you see the back of his number, and that ball, as we see many times when Chris Davis doesn't see it, he'll take pitches right down the middle of the plate.
His major league numbers, he's won 2 and lost 5. Major League ERA is 4.41, but again, you're going back to games played in 2013, 16, and 15 with the Twins and the Blue Jays. Only 12 starts, 17 Major League appearances. Picking the pace up a little bit. Wellington Castillo will go after it, cues that one foul.
Well, he's also made some adjustments. I mean, when you keep trying to get in on guys, even though you're ahead with 2 strikes and they hit singles, even if they're soft ones to the outfield, now all of a sudden he's using the changeup, using the slider. He's a multifaceted guy, and sometimes when you go to the minors, you have to kind of find out who you are. And it looks like he has this year.
Albers over the top delivery will just miss outside to Castillo. Well, Castillo, 3 home runs in his career against Seattle, and all of them have been hit here in this ballpark. Roof open, gorgeous night, blue sky, lights taking effect. He'll whistle that one the other way. It'll be a souvenir for the folks. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. Night like tonight, certainly don't need to close the roof. Been open for both games. First 2 of the 3. We'll have a day game tomorrow. Castillo waiting on it. Another one put up in the air. We'll be on the air tomorrow. 3 o'clock goes extra. 3:30 for the ball game. Masson 2. Ubaldo Jimenez 5 and 7. Marco Gonzalez with an 8.49 ERA. Another left-hander, no record, will be in for Seattle. your head up. The next foul ball may be coming towards you. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Off speed delivery. That's a good changeup. Had him leaning but missed.
Yeah, we've seen a 70-mile-per-hour fastball, and that one he just took a little bit off, and that's all part of the deal. When you've been around as long as him, and I've read some of his comments. He said, "Hey, it's about making good pitches. Pitching's about feel and touch."
Castillo will ground that one, get right on the top of it. Segura. Valencia's got it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Albers. So it remains an early pitching duel here in Seattle. Five-4. Gray with the 2-run 5-hit 6-inning performance. Ellsbury the 2-run homer. Finally, the Rays got some runs as they beat the Blue Jays by a score of 6-4. Most runs scored for them since August 1st. And the Red Sox 10-4 over the Cardinals. 8 runs in the 5th inning. Red Sox have now won 11 of the last 13, so they continue their 4.5-game lead over the Yankees. Tampa Bay ends a 4-game losing streak with their win. Orioles actually have moved into 3rd place in the American League East. Just a half a game ahead of Tampa Bay. Pitch will be taken for a strike on the outside corner. First time the Orioles have been in 3rd place since June 10th.
Yeah, then the goal tonight is to win and get to 500.
Yes.
Yeah, all the teams ahead of them, a couple of games over 500.
Heredia will take the pitch inside. Guillermo Heredia with a base hit his first time up.
I mean, in the wild card. Yes. Or the second wild card, and then the Yankees. Yeah, this kid looks like he kind of. I was watching him hit yesterday, right center, left center. Of course, his hitting instructor, 2-time batting titleist Edgar Martinez, talking about staying inside the ball and keeping your hands close to you. And that's what he's done. 3 hits already.
And that's going to be another one into left field. A leadoff single, and he's going to think about second. He's going to do more than think about it. Mancini's throw not in time. A leadoff double for Heredia.
Yeah, again, out of Cuba, played years down there. He's only 27, and right here it's a curveball, stays up just enough, and ends up in the middle of the plate. And then once it gets by Manny Machado, he knows where the left fielder's playing, and he's got some speed. So he's going to just right out of the box. It's 2. And Mancini does a nice job, picks it up. Strong throw, but it's not even close. He's already sliding in.
So Robinson Cano will try and tie the ball game up with Heredia on. Cano, a strikeout victim his first time up. Cano hitting .353 here in the month of August. 300 hitter with runners in scoring position. Last night Seattle had some chances. They went 2 for 9. They left 6 on base. The Orioles left 7. Orioles winning at 11-3. Doubling up in hits on Seattle 16-8. In this one, the Orioles have 6. Seattle's got 2. And Cano over the top.
Yeah, he was out hitting early around 3 o'clock, and they put that. They have a big screen they put out behind second base when you have batting practice, and the guys they get the balls in, and he had it splitting home plate, and he was hitting, and they were doing a toss drill. And I asked Edgar Martinez, I said, I've never seen that, and he said, nope, makes you keep your hands in close to you. I mean, again, this is a guy, as you mentioned, hitting 353 in August. No home runs as of yet, but that can change with one swing.
Veteran contact hitter. Runner off second base. 1-1 delivery. Cano fouls that one back. That one up a little higher.
Well, they'll take a look, and again, when he's able to strike people out, and the ability and the stuff's good enough to get him to swing out of the zone. That's what Sonny Gray does with that power curveball. But you got to get ahead, and you got to do exactly what he did here, which is have your pitchers count.
1-2 on Cano, and he'll take it down low. Good box made by Castillo to hold the runner at second base. Wade needs to do that because he throws the fewest number of strikes percentage-wise, 57% of the pitches of strikes, and that is the lowest in the league percentage-wise. One of the reasons why he also throws more pitches per inning than anybody else in the league, about 19.5.
Yeah, that's down at least to this point a little bit lower.
Cano waiting on it.
And again, trying to nibble, and he's faced 12 batters. He's thrown strikes on the first pitch, 6 of them, and now 32 strikes, 24 balls. And the thing is, with a 1-0 lead, you got to stay away somehow in the heart of their lineup from the beginning.
Cano rattles that one the other way. It's long, but it's foul.
Remember, 18 home runs, but only 1 against lefties.
Ideal situation if you're Seattle. You get the guy up there you want with a runner in scoring position and good speed already at second base. Beckham is backed in and out behind him, trying to cut the lead down. Cano rattles at the first this time. It will move the runner up. Play will be made by Davis. Over to third base goes Heredia, and there's one away. Cano retired.
Yeah, he does get him over, and I think Buck Showalter, he may play the infield in only because Cruz, it'll make him a better hitter, but if he gets on, he's not going to steal a base. And what does he do? He hits home runs. He's hit 9 in the last 14 games. So we'll see how they play it with a 1-0 lead here in the 4th.
Nelson is tied for first in the majors for the most home runs since July 30. He has had 9 of them. He and Giancarlo Stanton.
So they're going to play back, Gary.
Yep, they're staying back. Good lead at third base, and a runner goes, and it's a base hit. Ball game is tied. So the productive out by Cano creates the opportunity for Cruz, and he delivers.
Well, I think this team did their homework. We talked about Wade Miley, 28 curveballs. Well, here's one. The double to start it to Heredia was a curveball. I mean, he's just waiting, and he drills it into left field. So that ties it up at 1-1. Makes it even more so the Dyson throw. To cut off the second run at the plate, take away, turn a double play. The Royals looked like they were going to expand their 1-0 lead.
Cruz gets a league-leading 96th run batted in. He's on at first, hit number 3 for the M's. Here's Danny Valencia flying out to left on a stinging line drive. Trey Mancini made a nice play on to retire him in the second inning. Runner at first and 1 out. Valencia 3-0-2 off left-handers. Will take the pitch inside, and he will fall behind 2-0. Danny Valencia is having a tremendous season at the plate for this ball club, getting him a lot of playing time. 13 home runs, 59 RBIs. Pitch to him was right there for a strike. And the count will go to 2-1. Valencia against a team he played for a little bit, the Orioles, hitting .241 lifetime against the O's. 3 career home runs.
Yeah, Roger McDowell, Oriole pitching coach, looking on. I mean, everybody knows that Danny Valencia, he's going to, if he's on your team, he's going to wear out lefties. He's made a career of it.
Good pitch inside corner.
And his 13 home runs. Now he gets, this year he's gotten more at bats against righties than lefties. And of the 13 home runs, 8 of them. 8 of them against righties.
2 real good pitches Miley has worked out and then back in. Valencia tags it towards second. It'll take a squiver play there. Beckham turns and will not have a chance at first.
Yeah, any thought of Danny Valencia when he saw Scope do that of not running went out the window, because he got jammed. Nice pitch right here, and Jonathan makes a great play. You get the force run. The force, I mean, Cruz doesn't run well. Valencia runs a little bit better, but he sees what's happening and hustles it to save the Mariners from a double play.
Oh, that will bring Zunino up. Zunino, the catcher, a strikeout victim, his first time up, runner on at first base, and there are 2 down. Zunino, 15 multi-hit games this year, and for him, multi-hit games mean home runs. In 8 of the 15 multi-hit games, he has had at least 1 home run. Zunino, 219 off left-handers, 216 off righties. 1-0 pitch on the way. Worked for the outside corner, didn't get it, and again will fall behind 2-0.
Yeah, if you were with us last night, we were talking about, I mean, Mike Zunino's got 46 RBIs and 31 of them came in June. What a month that was.
Lead at first base for Valencia. Cut inside, missed, and he'll fall behind 3-0. Martin waiting on deck.
Yeah, I think you know, when you have this type of game, sometimes you either make your pitch to Zunino because you know his power capabilities, or your pitch to the lefty behind him.
And he takes it, and he's on. So the walk surrendered. Will put runners on at first and second base. Second walk surrendered by Miley. And the chance will go to Martin. Leonis Martin grounded out his first time up. See what he can do with a chance to put Seattle on top in this ball game with 2 down. Martin 6 for 27 with runners in scoring position. Not a lot of chances for him. Wade Miley will step off. Martin was at AAA. He hit .312 with Tacoma. Call back up from AAA. 14th game he's played since the recall. And the pitch will be up and away.
Oh, you got back-to-back lefties. Dyson getting more at bats. Martin last year he had 15 home runs. Did strike out a lot, 147 strikeouts. But the acquisition of Ben Gamble, you know, we saw him last night, and all of a sudden you're not playing as much, and that's how you spend some time at AAA.
He'll take the pitch outside, leaned out, and that's going to bring Castillo back out again. A 2-0 count.
Yeah, you thought that he was going to be under that 19 pitches per inning, but here he is now at 70. Again, working towards that unless he throws strikes, and then again 38 strikes, 32 balls. That's not the ratio you want. Much better down in or against Oakland.
Last outing in the Oakland game, he walked only 3, had 7 strikeouts. He's walked 2 here with 3 Ks so far. 2-0 count, 2 down, runners on first and second. Leaning out, and that misses too.
Yeah, you know, the difference between a veteran hitting club, I mean, there are a couple of exceptions on this team, but a much more mature, more at bat type of club in the Oakland A's is these guys have an idea what they want to hit, and Oakland hopes to have an idea.
Took it rather, and it's a strike in the outside corner. Little jump move that time, but he didn't mean it. He never let go of the bat. And the count goes to 3-1. We'll see if Miley can come back on him. The inquisitive eye of his manager. Valencia on at second base. Zunino on at first. And he does on the inside corner with a strike. So again, Miley is, I mean, he doesn't give in. He goes so often to 3-2, and he gets behind hitters so often. He's used to pitching behind in the count. I mean, not that it's a good thing.
Well, yeah, we talked about it. Going into the last game, he had 167 3-2 counts, but they were only hitting 159 because he doesn't give in. I mean, right here, he's not going to throw it for the middle. They may go there, but
3-2 delivery, and he came back and got him. Strikeout number 4 for Miley. No runs. 1 run rather on a couple of hits. There will be 2 left on base. So Miley gets the K. The M's get the run. 1-1.
run career high for Jonathan Scope. Orioles take a 1-0 lead. Now you can see exit velocity at 99, almost 100 miles per hour, and then Trey Mancini flags one down. Valencia trying to get a double, and then right here, first and third, nobody out. Now Dice has already got 10 assists. Number 11, perfect throw is Manny Machado, thrown out at home plate for the double play, and then the Mariners come back with a run in the 4th inning, 1-1. As we go into the 5th, Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
So Albers back to the majors. First start here this year. He's had no walks, 3 strikeouts, 1-1 ball game. Pitch taken for a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, and as the game is progressing, he's getting more comfortable. He reminds me of Brent Suter, who pitched for Milwaukee on July 3rd. And of course, it was an afternoon game, and he was a kind of a sub starter. And he really pitched well, and they got him 6 or 7 runs before the day was over. Albers out of the University of Kentucky, and I think Brent Suter was out of Harvard.
So far, very effective.
Yep.
Pitch on the way. He'll go for the outside corner and miss it. Joey Rickard lined out hard on one of a few really good defensive plays we've seen from both sides. Espinosa caught a line drive. Rickard hit down the line when there were 2 on base. Big out. 1-2 delivery on the way, and goes up and away that time and gets the strikeout.
Yeah, again, in and out, take a little bit off, then add a little bit, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you can see the glove. He doesn't quite get it in, but it's on the inside third of the plate. And of course, Joey, looks like he was trying to hit that ball to right field, but just couldn't get to it.
So Rickard retired with a 4th strikeout for the left-hander. Beckham right back at it. He is 1 for 2 with a single, and he flied out to center field. And the pitch taken down low for a ball. So Beckham, in this his 15th game with the Orioles, has picked up 30 hits, 60 at bats, 7 doubles, 2 triples, and 4 home runs. 1-0 delivery to him. Refuses to chase and takes the pitch up high, and the count goes to 2-0. Two-0 count with 1 down. Beckham's hit safely 13 out of the 14. 10 multi-hit games in the air to right.
Yeah, really got in on his fist. Just a lazy fly ball.
Martin will put it away, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, it's kind of Albers. I think this would have been James Paxton, who's 12-3 with an ERA of under 7 runs, or under 3 runs a game, and they both went to the University of Kentucky. And actually, when Paxton went down there to get a scholarship, guess who showed him around? Albers. And then they became teammates for a couple of years. And he said, well, I would imagine if he's 12-3, he's going to be able to help me out. And it looks like they did a little study session together.
It's like it worked. Manny Machado. Manny picked up a double his last time up, as he got one that fell in fair down the right field line and rolled into foul territory. He ended up on second base. Hit into a double play his first time up. Infield, little move playing him to pull. The off-speed delivery is going to miss outside for a ball. Did not go around on that one.
Well, can you imagine signing and then you get released because you had to have Tommy John surgery by the Padres, and then you're going to go down for a tryout. They don't have any mounds, so you take an archery circle and you use that as your pitching rubber.
Down to third. That is fair. Espinosa, long throw, and he gets it there in time for the out. So retires the side in the order. If you count the double play now, he has set down the last 8 Orioles faced. '17 cardboard to leather equipment collection presented by Legg Mason during the 135 game against the Angels. Fans are encouraged to bring along some new or gently used baseball equipment to the game. Benefits the underprivileged youth in developing countries. For more information, go to OriolesReach.com. That is coming up this Sunday at the ballpark. Orioles with 1 more left on the road trip. Finish it up here tomorrow, then get a day off. Wade Miley in a 1-1 ball game works here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Danny Espinosa, strikeout victim first time up. Miley pitching against, as Jim mentioned earlier, the team he played for last season. He had a high ERA, gave up more runs than Seattle liked. 7-8, 4.98 ERA. He had 19 starts with Seattle last season, and then on July 11 the Orioles got him for Ariel Miranda, the minor leaguer,
who's now won 7 games for him. even though he's given up 30 home runs. That's a lot of dingers. And a lot of them recently, which is, again, why Albers is pitching tonight. You know, I mean, Iwakuma, you know, pitched a no-hitter 2 years ago. Iwakuma against.
That one in the gap to right center field. That's got a chance. It'll fall all the way to the wall, rolling. Espinosa at second base. Jones will get it in. And for the second consecutive inning, a leadoff double for Seattle.
Yeah, Wade Miley was able to, even though he worked the count in his favor, get a ball away. But this one, I mean, look at this. Outside third, he's looking for it, and he smokes it. Rickard's a terrific defender in right field. He can't get to it, and he'll cut it down. So, you know, you get the leadoff hit, but not only leadoff hit, extra base leadoff hit.
So the potential go-ahead on at second base for the speedster Jared Dyson. The corners have already moved way in, expecting a bunt. Flied out to right field. His first time up. Beckham will try and hold the runner close. He does square. He takes it, and it's away for a ball.
Yeah, you don't want to get, I mean, you know, when they're going to give you an out, even though it's the fifth inning and it's 1-1, you got to take it. Now, it's not always easy because Dyson can bunt and he's got speed and whatever, but you got to throw him a strike. And if you get deeper in the count, maybe he's hitting and your infield's in, it makes him a better hitter.
He's had 3 sacrifices this year. Didn't throw a strike there again. 2-0.
So now, I mean, you don't really know. Now, you can still play in, but it's going to make him a better hitter. Scott Service says he's going to get a fastball and, you know, just play a little butcher boy like the pitchers do in the National League, where you try to make contact. Everybody, really, range is minimized.
2-0 delivery, squares, drops a beauty. They got to play at third. No, it's bobbled. There's no play anywhere. First and third, nobody out.
Yeah, Wade Miley, I don't know. I mean, it would have been a very close play because Manny's going to backtrap, and it's not a force play. So he's got to catch it, and he's also got to tag him. But then again, it's a moot point if you don't catch the ball and make the transfer. So right here, I mean, you're thinking right there, and then again, well, that interview you did with Bobby Dickerson about scope, the transfer of ball from glove to hand. Saw Beckham has a little problem with that because, and that'll change as he gets more work. But how often, now you practice that in spring training, but again, that's, you know, this is full speed, 1-1 ball game. You're hurrying, and they get the benefit of that.
Sacrifice bunt, reaching on a fielder's choice, throw over. He's already picked one off, and Dyson diving back into the bag, the league's leading base stealer with 28. So this is an interesting situation. You got Segura, the leadoff batter, up.
Yeah, and he can hit the ball anywhere. I mean, he's you know, he can poke it to right field. We've seen him do that on already 3 occasions in this series.
Segura will take it down low for a ball.
Not to mention he's came in at 315.
So runners on at first and third, nobody out. Chance for Seattle to get their first lead of the ball game. Segura waiting on Miley, down to third and foul, right behind the lead base runner Espinosa.
Now you got some pretty tough outs. Already is on deck. He's already singled and doubled, and you got Cano, and then you got, you know, a guy that's hit 9 home runs in 14 games behind him. So they're looking for a big inning, and Wade Miley's trying to figure out, how can I minimize, even if I give up a run, make it that.
They want that double play ground ball. Defense playing back for that. Pitch will be up high to it at 91. So Segura, big chance here in the leadoff spot after grounding out a couple of times. Segura is now 2 for 15 with a home run lifetime off Wade Miley. Dyson has not made a move to go at first. Segura swinging on a pitch in the dirt, hit the plate. Wow, that was down there, and you could hear the thud of it.
Well, that's the hook, and you know, a couple of hits already. The double to Reddy, who's on deck on a curveball. Cruz got the RBI single on a curveball, but that was the good one. That's the one he threw a lot at and got hitters to chase up in Oakland.
So Segura with a 2-ball 2-strike count. Miley holding Dyson close and just protecting, will chop that one foul.
Boy, it really does give him another option, because Again, we saw him get out of the last inning. He struck out Leonis Martin on 95-mile-per-hour fastball. So again, he can throw a lot harder. I mean, comfortably pitches at 91, and then he can add a little bit and get into almost the mid-90s.
Segura 253 in these situations. 2-2 again. Segura fouls that one straight back. One he wanted. Trying to punch the ball out here. To his credit, he's cut down on his swing here with a 2-strike count. Trying to get that run in from third any way he can. Gives Seattle a lead here in a 1-1 ball game. Pitches in, down, up.
Yeah. Well, that's how you get 203 hits, which is what he did last year in the National League.
And a chopper to third base. It goes through for a base hit. Espinosa will score. Segura comes through with the RBI, and Seattle takes a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, so the curveball, you get fooled once, but you can't fool them twice. This one's more in the middle of the plate. It's just up enough, but it's on the ground. And again, Cruz hit it right there. Heredia doubled over there, and now Segura.
RBI number 35 for their leadoff batter. That'll bring Roger McDowell out to the mound.
Yeah, well, we've seen on this West Coast trip, just as O'Day, Darren getting loose here in the 5th inning, and as the pitch count is getting closer to 90 for Wade Miley, but 87, and just been a play here or there. The other Saturday night, actually make it Friday night. Chris Davis tries to come home. They get the big inning. Same thing on Sunday. A little pop by, I guess, on Friday night and whatever. So a play here and there. You don't get that bunt out, even though Dyson has great speed, and all of a sudden the big inning becomes more of something that may happen.
Yama Heredia taking a long look down at third base to Manny Acta. Heredia has doubled and singled already. In at third base is Manny Machado. There's nobody out. Runners at first and second base. Heredia with a 4-game hit streak. See if he does bunt. Didn't show it. Takes the pitch inside for a ball. He is 26 years old, as Jim mentioned, out of Cuba, where he did play some 6 seasons. And was on the national team in Cuba. Made his way here. Played with Seattle last season. First time at the majors for him. 1-0 delivery. Checked on an inside corner strike. O'Malley trying to battle his way through. Very tough situation with the middle of their lineup up. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Segura, Cruz have their 2 RBIs. They've got 5 hits now. The Orioles 6. That one chopped to short. One they wanted. Beckham will go 1. They throw over to third in case the runner goes around the bag too far, but did not. So Dyson moves over to third base. Segura taken out at second. Heredia on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, I mean, think off the bat, if you don't run, except for Heredia, $400,000 signing bonus because he's a line drive, high average hitter, and he's got pretty good speed. And then right there, just in case, Dyson goes around the base, you make it a double play.
First and third, Robinson Cano. Cano has struck out, grounded out. He had an RBI chance in the 4th inning. Moved the runner up, which proved to be important in getting the run in. Now he's got another RBI chance. Throw over to first, and get Heredia back to the bag.
In a perfect world, which we're not dealing here, he'd like to pick him off, but I don't think Casey Candel, the first base coach, is going to let somebody else get picked off tonight.
Already had one. Yeah. Seattle up 2-1. Cano waiting on it. Down to first. Play is going to go there for 1. Here's the relay and a takeout slide, and you know the Orioles are going to argue about that one. Was it a legal slide? In the old days it would have been. Whether it is now or not, I don't know.
Well, again, you'd like to be able to get the ball in time to clear the runner. So right here, get out of the way, and I don't know. Yeah, I think he goes by the bag. I mean, this is why the rule was instituted. And
but Showalter's video people looking at it.
Well, again, he really didn't get out of the way, but again, once you don't get out of the way, and they're not going to do anything.
No
but take a look. You got to come out and get out of the way, or otherwise you're going to get hurt. Mike Bordick would speak volumes of this. So you can't freeze and assume, and I mean right there. But again, the slide carries them over the bag. But again, it was directly to the bag, and that's probably what they're looking at.
Yep. Yeah, he made a good slide directly to the bag. In the good old days, that would have been just a very professional takeout slide. So Robinson Cano gets credited with an RBI. Seattle takes a 3-1 lead. There would have been a double play had there been a clean pivot, because Cano does not run particularly fast anymore, and they had a real good chance to double it up. So credit the heads up slide right there of Heredia and doing away with that opportunity.
Well, he also had a very stationary shortstop.
Yep.
You know, this isn't Jonathan Scope, who actually, he plays second base, takes the throw and actually uses the base as a buffer. Much bigger, much stronger arm. But you got to get out of harm's way, and part of that is just to use your feet.
So 2-0 count, 2 down, 2 runs in here in the 5th inning. And the ever dangerous Nelson Cruz up there. That one bounces. Cruz delivered an RBI base hit in the 4th inning, and he has drawn a walk. That's the kind of thing that will be, I guarantee you, they've already marked on the video for a look-see. Bobby Dickerson will be talking with Beckham about that. How are we going to deal with this at second base on a play like that in the future so you don't get taken out?
Yeah, the other factor is the injury factor.
Yeah. Inside to it. So not wanting to deal with him, runners are again at first and second base. Second walk, second of the 3 picked up by Miley, and that's going to be it for Wade Miley.
Yeah, you're going to match up if you're Buck Showalter, and again, I mean, you're already out of the inning if you get an out on the Dyson bunt. You can see Wade Miley a little bit frustrated because this inning's got out of hand.
Will not make it through 5. He's responsible for the 2 on base. Time brought to you by Miller Lite.
Yeah, again, Dyson with great speed and doesn't really hit the lefties that well, and I think Miley thinks he's only plays at third, but again, when he, the transfer, he doesn't get it. And again, he's a good athlete, holds runners well, but again, he just can't get a handle on it. As it turns out, that third run will be the Dyson, so they don't get the out. Maybe they wouldn't have got it either way, but we'll never know. So he leaves, and Darren O'Day comes on to match up against Danny Valencia. So again, only the home runs this year. He's settled down, still trying to work on the windup. Said he was over kind of opening up a little bit too much. So it really doesn't matter what your arm angle is. You still have to have that rhythm and trying to get it. He's pitched well lately, though.
2 for 6 on the night for Seattle with runners in scoring position. Valencia's fly down hit into a fielder's choice. Cano's on at second base, Cruz on at first. Valencia 0 for 4 off O'Day. And the pitch will be outside for a ball. So Seattle getting the leadoff hitter on, Espinosa with a double. Then Dyson would reach, and they were off and going. RBIs in the inning. Picked up Segura, Robinson, Cano. There are 2 down. O'Day trying to finish it off right here. Darren's pitch on the way, and that's going to be in there for a strike.
Yeah, probably about what? About a 47 point difference for Valencia, righty versus lefty. But again, more at bats against right-handers, and 8 home runs, 5 against left-handed pitching. So again, he swings hard. And he does have some power.
Valencia with a 1-1. Ball popped up in the air. Over towards the seats, not a play. Behind the dugout. Well, O'Day will get ahead of him, a ball and 2 strikes. Seattle trying to end a 5-game losing streak. Miley the start tonight on the left. Dillon on the right. And he picked up a win on the road. Will continue to sort of be in the day off part of the rotation, giving me extra day every time they can, is what Buck Showalter said tonight. 1-2 pitch on the way. Valencia go upstairs, can't get it, so O'Day comes on and gets the K. But a couple of big runs score here in the 5th inning. 2 are left on base, and Seattle takes a lead 3-1. Bank for the achiever in you. Puget Sound, of course, surrounding the area. Beautiful night here.
Yeah, so Albers gives up a first inning home run to Jonathan Scope. Pitches out of trouble with the help of Jared Dyson, throwing out Machado at the plate. Very efficient. So he has a chance to win as Emilio Pagan comes on, who's been up and down 4 times. Good numbers. As of lately, really good. Hard thrower. Throws fastball somewhere 93 to 94. Hard slider. So again, comes up, and 3 earned runs in his last 27 innings, and having a chance as they're trying to stop that 5-game slide.
For Albers, who comes out, the starter's got a chance to be a winner. His last major league win was August 12 of 2013 when he pitched against Cleveland. So up to make his first start of the year, and leaves the ball game with a 3-1 lead. 3-5-0 for Seattle, 1-6-0 for the Orioles. Jonathan Scope has posted the 1 with a home run in the first inning. He has also drawn a walk. Jones and Mancini to follow for the Orioles here in the top of the 6th inning. Pagan's delivery, and it was up and foul back. Jonathan has cut down his chase rate by about 10% from last year. especially on the breaking balls, sliders, curveballs that are down and away. The one pitch he has still gone after is that one right there. That high fastball that looks so inviting to drive. Set up away and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, again, and by swinging at that, you set up where he, that's a good slider. I mean, just a little bend. It's 85, and again, it's really it's about as good a slider as you can throw, because it's just right at the knees and then slides just enough to get out of the strike zone.
There's Zepchinski, the left-hander. So the Orioles have seen him pitching for about 12 teams over the years, and he pitches well enough to be wanted. Here's Adam Jones. Base hit. First time up, hit into a double play, a big one, and the fly ball to center where Dyson threw out. Machado tagged up, tried to score, fouled into the seats.
Yeah, Adam Jones is really swinging the bat. Even though the sizzling line drive that Dyson caught with Machado at third, Scope at first, and made the great throw to center, it was right on the money.
And that's what Dyson has done, a league leading 11 times this year. 0-1 delivery on the way. Adam takes a breaking ball. That one is going to miss.
Yeah, that's a nasty slider. Again, the good ones, and he's already established 93 to 95, so you think it's that pitch, and then you don't pick it up. Probably another slider. You can see the three fingers from Zunino.
1-1 delivery on the way. Pagan's delivery is right there again.
Oh, it's gotten even better. It's an old school slider.
Adam against his former team has hit 20 career doubles. It's the only team outside the American League East in which he has had 20 or more doubles. Pitch on the way, foul back. Count will stay at 1-2. Adam has done well against the Mariners. Came, of course, to the Orioles from them in that big deal that the Mariners don't want to talk about. 266 lifetime average against them.
Well, Andy McPhail, he orchestrated that trade. Boy, was that huge. Get a starting pitcher like Tillman, a reliever George Sherrill, and starting center fielder, and then
96.
Yeah.
So Pagan comes on with a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, it's some high heat right here, and he's already established the slider, so you're back of your mind, and they weren't just normal hittable sliders.
2 down on strikeouts. Trey Mancini has struck out and he has grounded out. Pagan's delivery to him will be that slider down and away. Orioles have struck out 6 times total between Albers and the starter and Pagan out of the bullpen. (1-0) delivery. Mancini to center. Dyson. 1-2-3 inning. So the Orioles are retired in order. That's the 3rd consecutive inning the Orioles have gone down 1-2-3. Kids have their big league dreams come true. Ages 4 to 14 after the ball game Sunday. Run the bases. Get your tickets at Orioles.com. Always a great day for the kids and the young at heart. Man who came ready to provide whatever services might be needed at the ballpark. He can keep score. He can eat a pen. He can use his phone, and he's not worried about flying objects that might hit him in the head.
And I think he has a Brooks Robinson jersey on.
So he's golden.
Yep, he's got great hands and can't run very well, but
Brooksy don't take that.
Well,
from
no,
him.
no. I mean, Brooksy used to always say, Jimmy, I may not be going very fast, but I'm running as hard as I can.
I can hear him saying that.
But he does have, I think he likes to talk about those triples, though.
Pitch taken away for a ball.
All one of them, or two, or whatever. No. Well, Brooks played, in Memorial Stadium before, because he's so old, when he first got there, no, it was much bigger. They had, the fences were farther out, and then they put the inner fences in, which were still a long way.
Pitch on the outside corner. Next time I see you, Brooksy, we're going to get all the stories about how you saved Palmer in ball games so he could win 20.
I didn't say. I just said he couldn't run. I didn't say he couldn't save me.
He's backing up, Brooksy.
Yeah, I know. I'm backtracking.
1 ball, 1 strike count. So Nino's walked and been called out on strikes. That'll be foul.
I moved. It's funny. I moved. I once threw 9 home runs in 2 games for the Red Sox, and I used to move my outfielders, and of course the writer said, well, why don't you just move them into the seats? And I go, can I do that? Move them into the bleachers so they can throw the ball back. I didn't move Brooks Robinson. No.
He pretty much knew where to be.
Well,
on
he
his
did.
own.
Yes, he did.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Darren O'Day got the final out in the last inning, staying on here in the bottom of the 6th. He'll just miss outside.
Yeah, just off the outside corner, you can get a better. And it's right on the foul line. Center field cameras don't always tell you the whole story because there may be a little different angle. That high home, boy.
Best look.
Yeah, it really is.
2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Zunino against Darren's gone 1 for 3, and that one hit was a home run. 7 came to the plate in the 5th inning, scoring the 2 runs on 3 hits. They would leave a couple on base in the ball game. As Seattle now 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position in the game. The Orioles have gone 0 for 3. Not many chances for the O's. Ooh-ah, that rode in and got him. And the question is, where did it hit him?
Yeah, on the forearm, he's indicating. He's telling the trainer, stay there. Probably hurt the ball as big as like Zunino is, and right there you can see him, and he gets out of the way. Again, most hitters will roll in. That really does the elbow, the forearms, the hands, and whatever when you turn away from it like that. So you are fortunate when you don't have any serious injury.
So the leadoff man is on again. Second hit batter by O'Day this year. Seattle's had the leadoff man on 4 out of the 6 innings. They did in the 5th when they put the runs up. Leonis Martin goes after it down the line, and a foul ball. Orioles happy that one went right. Martin just kind of laying the bat out and got the barrel on it.
Well, he hit early yesterday. We talked about Cano was out here, 3-ish. So he came out, and he just hooks it. Otherwise, if it doesn't hook, and it's not foul by much. Great camera angle, right down the line.
Well, Martin will make his way back into the batter's box. Hitting only .229 coming into the game since his last call up from AAA Tacoma. 0-1, runner off first base. O'Day's delivery popped up the other way. No play on this either. Well, Seattle trying to get out of this losing streak. There it is. All at home. That's what hurts.
Yeah, and it's the way they lost. The Angels ended up winning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of last week. They beat the Orioles. 2 out of 3. Then they came up here, and everybody's talking about their tough schedule. At that point, the Mariners were playing well, and they lost on Thursday. Talking about the M's, and then they blew a couple of games, and then they get Parker Bridwell, who the Orioles gave away for cash consideration, to beat him on Sunday, and the next thing you know, you got a 4-game losing streak, and then the Orioles beat him last night. So,
and as a result, they're playing .500 baseball at home, and 59-61 overall.
Well, you made a great point, because they started out at 25-13 at home, and then now over the last 26 games they're 7-19, and that's not playing which they did so well last year.
O'Day's delivery. That record at home over that time frame is the worst win percentage in the major league since June 24. Win percentage at home.
Yeah, so Iwakuma won 16 games. He really hadn't pitched at all. The King, Felix Hernandez, has had all kinds of he's had all kinds of shoulder problems. King Felix, and then Paxton gets your 12-game winner is on the DL for the moment.
2-2 delivery on the way, floats that one in and got him. Leaned way out, but it was a strike. O'Day gets his second K.
Well, Darren O'Day is all about changing speeds, and right here, I mean, it looked like it's just a little maybe backdoor slider, and Martin just kind of gives up on it and then looks down at the outside corner. And Wellington Castillo right out there to present it to Gabe Morales, home plate umpire.
One down. Zunino remains on at first. Espinosa double, run scored, 5th inning. Andy is struck out. Espinosa 0 for 2 off O'Day. Aaron's delivery to him is there for a strike.
Well, his hit, one of the big ones, because it led off that, the 1-1 ball game, led off last inning. And then the Dyson sacrifice, which Miley caught, couldn't keep the handle on. Looked like he might throw out Danny at third base, but no play. And both of those runs scored, and that's the difference in this game.
0-1 count. Very short lead at first base. Got that one in on him at 89. The Orioles have, and they got a chance, as Jim said, if they win tonight, they're back at 500. 8 times this year they've had a chance at getting back to 500 that they have failed in. Now, they've been successful on other occasions, but 8 times a chance to be 500, and they've lost the ball game that would have put them there. 0-2 count. One away, infield. Open for a ground ball right here from Danny Espinosa. O'Day's delivery to him, and up and not even close.
Yeah, it just looks that, again, if he gets a ball in his zone, it's fine, but yeah, he swings at a lot of balls, because it's, again, he's not playing a lot now. Tried to make the Angels, only hit 163, so he was made available, and you can see, and again, I mean, he's got power both sides of the plate, but strikes out a lot.
So the runner hit by a pitch. Zunino still at first base, but there are 2 down. 4 a strikeout, 3 of them for O'Day. Dyson, he'll take the pitch for a strike. Dyson had a sacrifice and a fielder's choice last time up when the Orioles on a bunt. Wade Miley couldn't play it cleanly, and Dyson would end up scoring later in the inning, one of the 2 runs in the 5th. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that's under the arms.
Yeah, it is. We'll see how this. There's Zepsinski, and then Tony Zitch, a hard-thrown righty. So Pagan looked pretty good to me.
Wow.
You want him out of there.
1 ball, 1 strike count.
But O'Day, again, what he's so important to this bullpen, and he had the shoulder problems early, is he get righties and lefties out. He can pitch more than 1 inning and do it comfortably when he's on his game.
Aaron gets ahead on the count here. Ball and 2 strikes, 2 down. Settling back in after hit the leadoff batter in the inning. Wade Miley, by the way, 3 runs, 5 hits, 4 2/3, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. 1-2. Jared Dyson. Beckham's got it. He'll go to first. He wasn't sure he was going to get to the bag in time. So he makes the play at first base, record the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left on base. 3-1 Seattle. Automotive offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit the men's store or online at heritagedealers.com. Day game tomorrow to conclude this 10-game road trip. And then the Orioles have a day off, and Friday begin the homestand with the Angels coming in for their only visit. A couple of night games at 7, and then the 1:30 game on Sunday. Right now the Orioles concerned about this one. 7th inning. 3-5-0. Seattle 1-6-0 for the Orioles. Game turned over to the bullpen. Still two starters, still the pitchers of record. Mark Trumbo will lead it off. He has singled and popped out. Mark takes the pitch. That's going to be on the outside corner for a strike. Pagan remains on. Michael Givens up for the Orioles. Pagan retired the side with a couple of strikeouts in the 6th inning. 0-1 delivery over the top. Wow. He'll drop down. He comes up.
Well, 10th rounder. You know, he worked his the way up through the minor leagues. He was not even in the big league camp. You know, he's not even on their 40-man roster. And again, he's been up and down. And you look at his numbers over the years. You know, a lot of strikeouts. And you can see why. Always a reliever.
Fouled off the end of the bat. Oriole fans, when the Orioles score 5 runs or more, get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com with the promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 25 years old. Looking in for another strikeout, 0-2. And the pitch is going to be taken down low. Actually, he's turned 26, hasn't he? He's got the baby face, though. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, he never gives up any runs. No stress.
That'll work. Trumbo goes down swinging.
Well, he's got a nice windup, and again, you know, it doesn't look that big, but he's listed at 6'3", over 200 pounds, and again, I mean, very compact windup, and boom, 95, even though it's in the middle of the plate. And again, thigh high, but outside middle, and can't quite catch up to it.
So he's already picked up 3 strikeouts, 3 of the 4 faced. Davis has struck out twice. Wow, a rainmaker, but it's in the yard. Martin will have dinner while he waits. Puts it away, and there are 2 down here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, if you trust your stuff, you're not afraid to throw it over, and that's how you get easy outs. Again, you just hope it's good enough stuff. And again, like we said, last 27 appearances, only 3 earned runs.
Out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah, this will get you to the back of your bullpen. And they got a good closer. And Diaz, hard throwing righty. The Orioles saw him last year.
Wellington Castillo, 2 down, nobody on. Base hit, and he is grounded out. Castillo will take the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. "14 in a row retired, counting that double play back in the 3rd inning. 0-1 delivery, foul back. Seattle has kept warm-up action going. Now Zepchenski's been down there warming up for 2 innings. Vinson has joined it. The Orioles, while they have out-hit Seattle 6-5, they got those hits early. Their last hit was a leadoff double in the 3rd inning by Manny Machado. They get 3 hits in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Nothing since. Castillo, another one, same place.
Well, for the Orioles, the game changer was the Dyson throw. The double play at home plate. Manny able to score. It's 2-0. Scope didn't advance, so he, double play, and then you're out of the inning. It's over, and that was the last threat.
0-2 count with 2 down. Pagan with the delivery over the top again. He's just gunning. So he's got 4 strikeouts, 2 of them in this inning, 2 in the 6th. 7th inning stretch time. Seattle leads it by 2. Now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Boy, what a day here in Seattle. If you couldn't create a weather day that was any finer than what it was. The old Perry Como song, for those who remember, the bluest skies I've ever seen are in Seattle. Well, this was the day they wrote the song.
The pair.
It was beautiful.
8 o'clock on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Lull you to sleep.
Craft music hour.
There you go. Michael Gibbons on. Another great year for the Orioles. So again, chance to win this game. Kind of do what you usually do. Hold it right there.
Fouled away. Segura, the leadoff batter. Segura delivered an RBI base hit in that 5th inning. He is 1 for 3 in the game, 2 for 7 in the first 2. Michael Givens called on again to hold the fort. Iridia waiting on deck.
Wow.
Ooh, I wanted that one.
Well, that's the, again, when you're pitching, even if you're a reliever and, even if you're a former infielder that's been converted to a pitcher, you got to read that bat hit, because those kind of swings get you in trouble. So you can still throw your fastball, but you got to move it around. Pretty good trade for the Mariners getting Segura.
0-2 delivery is punched to second, base hit.
I mean, look at that swing.
That's perfect.
That's how you got 203 last year, and that's why they signed a 5-year extension for $70 million. Because he's going to be around long. You got Seager locked up. You got pretty good players, and Scope can't quite get it.
The base hit. Another leadoff man on. That's 5 out of 7 leadoff batters who have reached for Seattle. Now scoring an extra run late in the ball game. We're in that situation. Iridia, fielder's choice, double, a run scored, and he is singled. He will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Iridia's got a 4-game hit streak. He's picked up 4 hits in these 2 games against the Orioles.
Yeah,
4 for 7.
Yeah, and Segura, he runs a little bit. Stolen 17.
In this day and age, that's a lot, huh?
Yeah, Dyson's the guy, though, 30 last year. And now he can run. And, Segura, not quite as fast looking over. But also, if you're Scott Service, you got a guy that can handle the bat at the plate. You've seen that already. Again, all those years in Cuba. Line drive hitter, contact hitter.
Givens a quick snap. Throw, and he got him. No. Sorry. I thought I saw the out call delivered down there.
Well, Adrian Morales, the first base umpire, he's going to call a trainer, and I think he hurt his arm calling him safe.
Wow. He snapped the arm up and looked like he called him out. Not to be. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, that'll cut your lead down a little bit.
That was a quick throw over there. 1-1 delivery on the way and way inside. So 2 ball, 1 strike count. 1 pickoff picked up in the ball game by the Orioles starter Wade Miley when he was in there.
This is the old classic 2-1 Sparky Anderson hit and run, but they don't send him.
That ball in the air, right. Runner back to first base, put away by Rickert, and there is 1 down. Well, this is what we were talking about earlier. You have a sense this is an unusual season with the number of teams hanging around for the wild card, and right now that's true. The most teams within 4 games of 500 at this point of the season. This is the most since '74. There are 8 teams within 4 games of 500. That's why you have this big jumble for the wild card spot in the American League.
Yeah, I was on that '74 team. The Red Sox at one point, maybe there were a lot of teams behind them, but they had an 8-game lead, and they would end up blowing that. The Orioles would thunder down the stretch.
That ball down the line, will it stay fair? And it's foul.
Wow.
Second one we've had in the game that's just missed. This one off the bat of Cano.
Yeah, looking like a changeup up, and he just misses a double. This one was even closer than the Martin double. Another great camera angle right here, and there you go.
Robinson coming back, wondering why he couldn't straighten that one out, watching the video on the big board here. So Segura back to the bag. Cano, RBI and a fielder's choice. Grounded out, struck out. He's faced Givens only once, 0 for 1 against him. 0-1 count each team, 6 hits in the ball game, but Seattle with a 3-1 lead. And Cano will step out. One delivery on the way, leans out, watches, gets too wide. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. It's a big moment here with the Differential just 2 runs late in the ball game. Robinson Cano at the plate. Short lead at first. 1-1 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss kept it down.
Yeah, you better bring your A stuff to the table, and that was it. Hit 97 up and away. And again, right where the glove is.
No, with that ever patient look at the plate, relaxed.
Well, look how relaxed his hands are. I mean, it's just kind of laying there.
And a rip on a pitch that was up. So Givens comes on to get him. 2 down.
Yeah, again, once he throws it by him, and he did that on the 1-1 pitch, and then all of a sudden right here, I mean, it's not the same velocity, but he just chases. Big out right here. They don't advance the runner.
So 2 down now, and Cruz coming up. Cruz delivered an RBI base hit in the 4th inning. He has walked twice. Only 3 walks surrendered by Wade Miley, and Cruz picked up 2 of those, and the second one in the 5th inning was the last batter the Orioles started with face. Delivery on the way by Givens is there for a strike. Cruz has now picked up 16 RBIs in the last 10 games. Leads the league now with 96 driven in. Pitch on the way by Givens. Big cut foul back.
Well, he came in hitting 4 points shy of 400 in the month of August. He talked about the home runs, 8 of them in this month, 9 in the last 14 games. You can just go. The numbers have been outstanding, and we saw it a little bit tonight. Got drove in the first run on a curveball, hit it into left field. Yeah, you just want to hold him close here. The last thing you want to do is end up quick throwing over there and throw it away, because I don't know if he'll be running with Cruz at the plate. Not with this home run power.
No, definitely don't want to take the bat out of Cruz's hand in this situation. 0-2 count. Long hold by Givens, and a timeout asked for at the plate by Cruz. He held that one for a long time. See the alignment here. StatCast brought to you by the Hyundai Summer Clearance Event, going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. And Givens will ask for a new baseball. 10+ years in the majors for Nelson Cruz. Just turned 37 years old. Entered the year with a .275 career batting average. The rate he's going right now, he's going to up that, hitting at .297. 0-2 delivery by Givens off the fists again and back over the screen. Well, the count remains at 0-2. Good battle joined. Darren O'Day out of the bullpen for the Orioles. Worked an inning and a third. Hit a batter. Had 3 strikeouts. That was it. 0-2 pitch by Givens. Cruz on a pitch down and away. Givens gets a couple of Ks. No runs on a base hit and 1 left on. 7 complete in Seattle. Orioles need some late runs, down by 2. Coming promotions, including the 25th anniversary Oriole Park replica ballpark, Orioles cap presented by DAP, an Orioles hooded sweatshirt, and more. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer with you, and a pitching change after the ball club had come out on the field. Maybe a chance for the fans to give a nice round of applause to Pagan.
Yeah, well, the other thing is they set Smith up there, and they're going to match up. So you're going to get your Zepsinski.
So Pagan out of there.
Yeah.
Boy, he did his job. Form and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. So matching up, both managers trying to do that here.
Yeah, Mark Zepsinski last year pitching with Oakland, 56 games, and then the Nationals, comes over as a free agent and really does a nice job. And of course, he's pitched with Cleveland, St. Louis, Toronto early on in his career, everywhere. You know, again, fastball, slider, and a little bit of a changeup, a lot of movement. Able to pitch in the low 90s.
And the pitch on the way. Smith announced as the pinch hitter. That's when the pitching change was made.
Well, the good news for the O's, Gary, as you know, you just get a guy on. And if you get a guy on, then you get the tying run to the plate. And the way Pagan was pitching, it wasn't going to happen.
Nope. Pagan worked 2 innings, struck out 4. Veteran Zepchinski with a 1-ball-1-strike count on Smith. Smith, of course, against left-handers, hitting .300. He's 6 for 20. Shift on in the infield against him. Swinging arm to center field. Dyson there. He's got it. 1 away. Now show off those photography skills you've got. Follow Masson Orioles on Instagram. Tag all of your best O's related photos on Instagram with hashtag #IBackTheBirds. Masson Orioles could repost your photo and hook you up with an O's prize pack. That's hashtag #IBackTheBirds on Instagram. This is what Zepchinski does. He's become a specialist coming on to get a left-hander or two. He worked 2/3 of an inning in his last outing against the Angels. Works 1/3 of an inning here. Vincent will be coming on with 1 away in the 8th.
2-run lead. He's done a great job for him. You can see from the numbers. Again, a lot of innings. Doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. Loves the slider. Throws it about 50% of the time. And then, velocity somewhere right around 90. And, hard slider. Sliders also in the mid to upper 80s. So he's done a great job for him. And again, Scott Service just going to kind of sequence his way through the late innings to get to Diaz, his closer.
Vincent, a 31-year-old veteran who spent most of his career with San Diego, came over a couple of years ago in exchange for a player to be named later, and was a workhorse last year here, where he appeared in 60 games with that 4-4 record. One down, nobody on. Top of the order. Beckham will take the pitch. It is in there for a strike. Beckham has had a base hit, 1 for 3. Orioles still looking for a hit, not having had one since the leadoff double in the 3rd inning by Manny Machado. In fact, they have not had a base runner since the 3rd. Breaking ball in the air to right. They were playing near the line. Martinez is there and puts it away.
Yeah, again, you get in the late innings. Learned this from Don Stanhouse. Hey, most guys are going to expand the strike zone. Don't really throw the ball down the middle of the plate. So get me over slider, fastball up and away, and you get a nice little lazy fly ball. It's interesting about when you're a manager, you trust these guys. I mean, Zebzinski doesn't come in, as you mentioned, he matches up against lefties, but what does he do? He throws a strike. Ball hit pretty hard, but right at the center fielder, and you got yourself an out. And then you go to Vincent, who's nothing but a strike thrower.
17 consecutive Orioles have been retired. And here is Manny, the last one to have a hit. Manny will drill that one to center. Jared Dyson coming. It's right there. Orioles are retired again. 3 up and 3 down. That's the way it's been since the 4th inning of this ball game. So Seattle's bullpen gets it done. The Mariners 3-1. Well, for the Orioles, Ubaldo Jimenez ready to make the start in the ball game for tomorrow. Our broadcast will be coming up. 3 o'clock goes extra, and 3:30 for the ball game. And there's the matchup on the mound.
Yeah, Jimenez, who pitched well in Oakland. In fact, Brad Brock's going to come in. Actually got the blown save and the loss. So again, Marco Gonzalez coming off an arm injury, so he gets a chance. Another lefty. Brad was talking about it yesterday. He said just a little bit out of sync, maybe not to be able to hit his spots. The A's, he came in with a 4-3 lead, and they took advantage of it. Got 2 runs, gave up the sacrifice fly to Chad Pinder for the loss. So maybe the last couple of days working on maybe trying to stay a little more upright. We'll see if he's able to get back on track.
Seth Smith, who came on to pinch hit, will stay in right field for Joey Rickert. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Valencia, Zunino, and Martin are due up Givens worked an inning, a hit, couple of strikeouts. Valencia's 0 for 3. And Danny will not go after. So this game, after the Orioles have been putting up all these runs and all these hits, has been a pitcher's affair. 3-6-0 for Seattle, 1-6-0 for the Orioles. 18 in a row retired, if you count that double play in the third inning. Diaz, the closer, in the bullpen. Real close ball game, not done yet. 2-0 count. Orioles will have 3, 4, 5 due up in their order in the top of the ninth inning. 3-0 on Valencia. Buck Showalter doing some pacing. Orioles moved a half a game ahead of Tampa to get back into third place. If they lose this game, they'll fall back behind Tampa by a half game. That is in their first strike at 94 and a 3-ball 1-strike count. 24,927 the attendance here at Safeco tonight. 2-4, 927. Seen a good ball game. 3-1 delivery on the way. Valencia reaches and puts it in the seats, foul. So a 3-ball 2-strike count for the first batter faced by Brad Brock. All the runs coming off Wade Miley, only 3 of them on 5 hits and 4 2/3 innings. 3-2 delivery. Foul outside the third. Orioles bullpen in great shape coming into this ball game, and will be for tomorrow too, for the day off coming up at home. Only had to use Castro in the game out of the bullpen last night after Kevin Gausman went 7. 3-2 delivery on the way. Scope. 1 down, bottom of the 8th. MLB.TV every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Person not getting any work recently is Zach Britton, the Oriole closer.
Yeah, he pitched what? Gave up the home run, but he hadn't pitched in 4 days, and he's not as sharp.
Pitch taken down low.
It's funny. Scott Brocious, who came on as the assistant hitting coach, he said, "Well, we got what we wanted last night. We didn't get to see Zach Britton, but they got beat 11-3. So,
which would you rather have?
Yeah, right. Exactly. He was kind of being facetious, obviously.
Off the fists and back.
But the other thing is, usually when Britton pitches, the Orioles have the lead, and like he said, he was perfect last year, 47 out of 47.
Zach said he believes he's having trouble staying sharp. That it's just not enough times out, throwing on the side, of course, but it's just not the same, as you know. But there just haven't been the opportunities. 1-1 delivery on the way. That's the end foul.
And it's not the same coming in with a 7-run lead to get your work versus comfortably a 2 or 3 run lead.
Exactly.
We know how difficult the 1-run leads are. A lot of drama on those.
1 ball, 2-strike count. Zunino puts it up in the air, first or second. Davis wants it. 2 down in the 8th. Brad Brock trying to set the side down in order. 7 left on by Seattle in this ball game. They stranded 2 of those in scoring position. The Orioles have left 4 on base, only 1 in scoring position, and nobody on since the 3rd inning. 2 down. Martin up, drills it, base hit. Got 1 up, and he's 1 for 4 in the ball game. His single coming with 1 away here in the 8th. That'll bring Danny Espinosa up, give him another chance.
Yeah, a little change up, and he's got to go all over because it just kind of lingers in the middle of the plate. And
Espinosa doubled in the 5th inning and scored. Has struck out twice. 1 run in the 4th, RBI base hit by Cruz. 2 runs, 3 hits in the 5th. All the scoring for Seattle, and so far all they've needed. Throw over close, but he gets back. RBIs in that 5th inning. Segura got an RBI base hit. Cano got one on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, 24 stolen bases for Martin last year. So I would think, considering the situation, you're trying to add a run, that they will try to run here, even though Wellington Castillo, terrific year. So hold him close. Yeah, almost. And again, if he's going to run, then he's going to have to do it, because you're going to, throw a fastball, get something to your catcher, and get rid of the ball quickly. And you can see a veteran base runner, because he goes to the outfield side of the bag. Longer area for Chris Davis to drop the tag on.
Guard 2 down here. Runner not going for the moment, and a swing and a miss by Espinosa. 0-1. He's going to go. Now is the time. I think he would take off. Lead not extended for the moment by Martin. He knows how far he can go, because all 3 times he's had to dive back into the bag and grab that corner.
Yeah, again, and you could see him heading, and just that angle is right to the outside of the bag, just a longer distance for Chris to catch it, put the glove down.
0-1 count on Espinosa. Pitch, strike call at the letters. Count goes to 0-2. Espinosa steps back out again. 0-2 count, 2 down. Brock trying to get it done here. Bring the Orioles up in the 9th inning, trailing by just 2. Base hit by Martin, the 7th for Seattle, out hitting the O's by 1 right now. That one up higher, and a ball and 2 strikes. One-two delivery, runner not going. Espinosa keeps it alive, fouling it off. Brad Brock having to work.
Yeah, and again, it just you work on this in spring training. Whether you're a starter or a reliever, running situation, have to get ball, rid of the ball quickly, but also make a quality pitch.
There goes the runner. Throw down, the one hopper on the money, and underneath.
Yeah, Beckham made a nice play. Tag. I mean, he comes in and he's on the run.
Showalter wants the game held up for a moment. Let's video people take a look.
Yeah, and Castillo, I think he's going to come out and
no challenge.
Yeah. So again, finally, and again, you can see the little pivot, takes a look. I don't know why, but he does, and boy, it's bang bang. So again, does he get him?
Right,
oh, he's out.
He's out.
Yep. So the Orioles are going to hit off of Edwin Diaz. They should reverse this. Nice little challenge. Your video guys gave you the thumbs up.
So the challenge on the call at second base should end the inning.
Gary, when we used to play, I mean, I had the luxury of Davey Johnson and Bobby Grich and Mark Belanger. They would drop the tag just like that so quickly. And in the old days, that's pretty much what you had to do. So again, doesn't tag him there, but right there gets the knee before the foot gets to the bag. I would imagine they'll reverse this.
Castillo throwing out 46% of base stealers coming into the ball game.
Well, he came up as a middle infielder in the Dominican, and then you're out. Yep, and that was one of the deals. Turn the double play, and right there, don't try running on me. Tell him to know that.
So that'll do it, as the Orioles will take it to the 9th inning. Scope, Jones, Mancini due up.
And again, at this point, it's the only run the Orioles had, number 26. Career high gives the Orioles a 1-0 lead off of Andrew Alberts.
Our Lexus 1000 drive of the game, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer, 7 straight years. Come see why at lexusofTowson.com.
And I hope that you're still watching, because again, you're down by 2 runs. They bring in Edwin Diaz, their closer, 20 out of 29. Last appearance was a loss. Came in and walked the bases loaded, gave up 3 runs to the Angels. That was last Thursday. So he's done a nice job. He's only 23, and he had 18 saves last year. From August 1st on was the most in the major league. So again, hard thrower. Stuff-wise, 97, 98 with a slider somewhere in the upper 80s.
From Puerto Rico, the young right-hander. Pitch on the way, and that'll be fouled back by Jonathan Scope. The home run, a walk, and he is struck out. Diaz has no decisions against the Orioles in his career. This will be the 4th time out. He's worked 2 2/3 innings, no runs on 3 hits in those appearances, and 8 strikeouts. That's going to be in there for a strike.
Well, he started, again, a 3rd rounder, 98th guy pick, and brought him to the minor leagues as a starter, and then decided last year that he would be a late inning pitcher.
Fouls that one off. So all of the outs that Diaz has recorded against the Orioles have been strikeouts. 2 2/3 innings, 8 Ks.
Well, that was 99.
Yep.
And Jonathan just trying to flick it foul. Hopefully get a better pitch to hit. Totally conventional defense right up the middle.
Ground ball towards the middle. Segura. 1 down. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer. Orioles have 2 more outs to work with here in the eye of the needle. Jones has picked up a base hit, get into that big double play on a fly ball and then out at the plate in the 3rd, and he is struck out.
Yeah, the biggest play offensively for the Orioles. Again, runners at 1st and 2nd after the Machado double. Yeah, and then a hanging curveball that he hit on the nose. But Gerard Dyson caught it, and then the 11th assist of the year. Machado out at the plate.
In the air, center field. Jared Dyson.
Yeah, well, he's taking all the drama out this by not walking anybody like he did against the Angels.
Well, they've blown a few, more than anyone else, actually. But
yeah, he's only got 4 of them. So again, you know, for a young kid, again, remember he just back in March turned 23, pretty comfortable in this role.
So Albers, the emergency starter, could pick up the win with 1 more out. Trey Mancini. Albers would be 1-0. Miley would take the loss, 6-10 if the Orioles cannot come back.
Well, it's a great story, and I would imagine he may hang around for a while.
Pitched pretty well. Pitch will be away. As we said, for the left-hander, Albers, Andrew Albers, his last win back in 2013, 2-5 in the majors. Foul back, 1-2.
Yeah, 6'3". They have him listed about 185, all arms and legs, and he's a very animated guy. I'll take a little stroll because we got everybody on their feet here in Seattle. We're trying to end a 5-game losing streak.
Mancini 0 for 3 in the ball game. I think he got him. Yep, called out by the home plate umpire. So Diaz comes on and retires the side in order. That's 21 in a row set down since the 3rd inning. 3-1 the final.